Talking about 5 players that could lead you to a fantasy football championship in week 17, and we start at each position today. We have a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense. And starting at quarterback, we have Jared Goff. Jared Goff has scored at least 21 fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games, and he's averaging 20 fantasy points at home, where he plays against the Bears this week, who have given up the 9th most points to quarterback. The Lions also have extra incentive to win this game, as they have to win out if they want any chance to make the playoffs. The Lions are going to be fired up. They're going to be scoring a lot of points. They had a high-scoring game against the Bears the last time they played them, and I think that ultimately Jared Goff is going to score a lot of fantasy points this week. At running back, we have Zach Moss, who is probably the only running back owned in less than 50% of leagues that I think could lead you to a championship this week. Zach Moss for the Colts last week had 69% of the snaps. He's averaging 19 touches over his last 2 games, and he's playing the Giants, who have given up the 12th most points to running backs this year. If any running back's going to get it done that you still might be able to find on your waiver wire, it's definitely Zach Moss, and especially if he's going to keep the touches and the Colts can keep this game within reach, I think there's going to be a heavy workload for Zach Moss this week. At wide receiver, this has got to be my favorite wide receiver of the entire week that I think is going to absolutely dominate, and it's Jeudy. And Jeudy's playing the Chiefs, who we just had over 30 fantasy points against the Chiefs just 3 weeks ago. And on top of that, the Chiefs run one of the highest rates of cover 3 in the entire NFL, and Jeudy has dominated cover 3. He had 3 touchdowns versus the Chiefs. The Rams also run a ton of cover 3, and he had 117 receiving yards against them last week. And beyond that, Jeudy is safe and consistent. He's had at least 50-plus receiving yards in 9 straight healthy games, so he's a consistent floor every single week, but he also has the upside that he showed against the Chiefs just 3 weeks ago, and these Chiefs also allow the 7th most points to wide receivers. At tight end, the key is to finding players who are hot, and Tyler Higbee is scorching hot at this point. He has a touchdown in back-to-back weeks. Last week, he just had 9 catches for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the biggest takeaway from this is it wasn't like they just threw the ball 70 times. Tyler Higbee was targeted on 40% of his routes. As Baker's gotten more comfortable in this Rams offense, Tyler Higbee is the guy he's looking for. There's no Cooper Kupp. There's no Allen Robinson. Tyler Higbee is the guy in this offense. They're playing a middle-of-the-pack Chargers tight end defense, and the Rams are going to have to score a lot of points to keep up with them, especially in a must-win game for the Chargers. And lastly, if you're going to find any defense and special teams, it's got to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They're playing Denver, who have given up 11, 15, and 21 fantasy points to defenses over the last 3 weeks. And the game where they gave up 15 points was against the Chiefs, where the Denver Broncos scored 28 points against them. And the Chiefs still scored 15 fantasy points. They had a pick 6, and beyond that, the Chiefs need to win this game if they want any chance at getting the 1 seed this week. This is going to be a must-win game for the Chiefs, and I think that all these players have a real shot this week at leading you to a fantasy football championship, so keep them in mind when you are setting our lineups. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below who you think is going to be the player that leads everybody to a fantasy football championship this week. But as always, don't forget to turn those bell notifications on for the next Football Guys video.